Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Man, I am so excited because I am sitting in my brand new 2022 Z21XL. This is a redesigned boat, top to bottom, bow to stern, all brand new, completely. And I'm just really excited about it. Last week, if you hadn't had an opportunity, check out the video where I showed you everything inside of it. We did that on the land. Well, today, obviously, we're out here on the water. I'm gonna show you what this baby will do with that 250 Mercury right here behind me.
From the top of the mountain, yeah, we fall our way up to the top of the mountain. Yeah, we fall our way up to the top of the mountain. Yeah, we ever coming down from the top of the mountain.
All right, so it took us a little while to get out here. We got everything set up. I've got the computer hooked up to my screen right here so you guys can see exactly, I've got 59 gallons of fuel in here. You can see my RPMs are 600. My speed right now is 3 miles an hour. But what I'd like to do today is just show you how long does it take to get to 30 miles an hour? How long does it take to get to 60? How fast does this boat go? Shutting it down, just turning it. I just want to give you some of those performance things that, why I like this boat so much and just how comfortable I am with it. So, the first thing I want to do, guys, let's open this thing up. Let's just see how fast it is. We got a pretty good chop this morning. It was really supposed to be calm. I think it may calm down as the day goes on. But yeah, let's see what she'll do. That's what everybody wants to know. How fast is it? I'm gonna go up here and turn around and we'll run that way. 67. 68. So right there at 4,200 RPMs, I'm running 43 miles an hour with my nose down in the water. I can trim it up a little bit. Still running 4,100 RPMs, 42 miles an hour. So that's pretty efficient fuel efficiency right there, if you're traveling a long ways. All right, so in our first run right there, we got, I never did see the RPMs, but we got to 68.9. Man, that's pretty cool. I'm really happy with it. I've got two people in here, I've got my camera guy. I have got a full tournament load, right at 60 gallons of fuel. Everything's in here, guys. I can show you. I just open the video, open everything up here. I'll just show you, like, this is loaded. I've got ice and water. It's completely loaded up here, all my tackle. I got the back compartment loaded with plastic, all the rods, depth finder. Everything's in this boat. So that's a true test of how fast this boat will go with two people. And this thing holds a lot more fuel than a lot of other boats. I hear a lot of people say, well, yeah, they're really fast, but they only hold 40 gallons of fuel. Well, heck, I've got 60 gallons of fuel in here. That's a big difference in weight, and weight is the most critical thing in a boat. I could take all this out and I could gain 5 miles an hour, but I like having all my stuff with me. I may need it. I've not caught too many bass going 72, 73 miles an hour in my career. So let's run it through a few more paces here. Let's time how long it takes to get on pad or to 30 miles an hour. So to get that speed out of it, I had that jack plate about 1.5 to 2 inches high. That to me, for my boat with a 23 pitch Fury on it, that is that to me is that sweet spot in there. And I've got a pretty good chop. By the time I got to my speed, I had waves like that. I think I could get it a couple miles an hour faster if I had some really calm conditions, but it is what it is. So let's see how long it takes to get this thing, up and running. I got it trimmed all the way down. I put it in gear. Let me get my little timer here. Let's just see, I'm curious. I've never done this before. All right, mark, it's like in a race. Mark, set, go. So we're on pad in 5 seconds. We're at 40 miles an hour right there. We made it to 45 miles an hour in 11 seconds. So That's pretty good. I don't know. I feel like that's good. I've never done it before. We're on pad in 5 seconds. That's pretty good too. And that was just in a straight line. You know, you can get on pad quicker in shallower water doing curves, so that's kind of cool. Let's see how long it takes us to get to 60. Let's do that right quick. Let's just see. So I'm gonna reset that. Everything's trimmed down. All right. Mark, set, go. 60 right there. Took us 20 seconds to get to 60. I'm not a boat racer, but I don't know, kind of cool data. I've never really checked that out before, but 20.49 seconds to get to 60. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I think something else that's important in a bass boat is how high can I raise that jack plate up and still get it on pad. Let's say you're down in Okeechobee and you want to get this thing on pad, you know, so that's raised all the way up. I got the motor trimmed down, then I'm going to trim it up just a little bit. Let's just see if that thing will get on pad. Now I've got a 23 pitch Fury. If I really wanted to get it on pad faster, I'd go with a 23 or 24 4-blade Fury. 3-blade, you know, for this boat's best all around, but if you're really trying to get it on pad in really, really quick, you'd want to go with a 4-blade. But let's see what it'll do with that 23 Fury right there. Yeah, so it will get on pad with it all the way up. That's getting on pad in really shallow water. As it starts to break over, I start bringing that jack plate down to keep it from blowing out, but that's pretty impressive. Like, that's even better than my last boat. That's one thing I've always admired about my Nitros is I can get them on pad in really shallow water. Let's do it one more time. I didn't time it. It'd be a little quicker with it trimmed all the way down, but generally speaking, you're in such shallow water, you want to trim it up just a little bit. So again, that's at 21. You can see right here on my gauge, that's at 21. Mark, set, go. 7 seconds and we're up and running. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's getting on pad in some shallow water, guys, and that's with a 3-blade prop. You know, one other thing, just some people may want to know, how slow will this boat go and still stay on pad? You can see right here, I'm going 24 miles an hour. I'm still up on pad. I can raise my motor up. Let's say we're running shallow water. So now I've got that motor raised up. I got it to 3 on the jack plate. 21 miles an hour, we're still on pad here. I can go a little faster, level the boat out. 25. Now I've got that jack plate on a 4. I still got 10 pounds of pressure. I'm having to go a little bit faster, 29 miles an hour. But that's running shallow water. That kind of stuff to me is important in a bass boat. I'm able to go slow. I'm at 28. That's almost like a jet engine right there. Look at that. I've got it raised all the way up. We got 10 pounds of pressure, and I'm going 27 miles an hour. One thing I truly like is just how tight this boat will turn. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So when I get it up on pad, let's say you got to make an emergency turn. I can take this boat and just turn it super tight, either direction. Let me get out of these waves right here. I mean, and it still stays on pad. You know, we're going 20 miles an hour in that turn. I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. It doesn't blow out in the turns at all. Slow speeds, fast speeds, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't blow out. Another thing, you know, just to talk about a little bit is, you know, backwash. You know, you don't want a boat that when you shut it down, you just got tons of backwash comes over the back. So I'm just gonna run and I'm gonna pull the kill switch. Watch what happens. That's really good, guys. There's just very little backwash that comes over that boat when I pull it, you know, shut it down. You got to be careful. You know, some boats, you know, when you shut it down like that, just big wave of water will come over the back. That's a good deal right there too. Man, guys, the next feature that I've got on my boat, I've never had before. I think it's kind of one of them must-haves for everybody. And Mercury brought this out, and it's called First Mate. And what it is this fob right here that you connect to your belt or your life jacket or something that's always going to stay on you. So, you know, they make a wristband that you can put it around your wrist and just wear it all day long, and it acts as a kill switch, as a man overboard. It'll shut my engines down. It'll send a waypoint to my phone. You can connect it to multiple other phones, but it is super cool. It's something that I can put on every passenger in your boat. You know, if you got a big pontoon boat out there, you can just put the wristbands on everybody. Really neat feature. Let me show you how it works here. So I'm just gonna show you, got my app here. You're gonna notice, like when I turn my motor on, engine's turned on, okay? So I got one engine running, I only got one here. So this fob is connected right now, and I know that by this green dot right here. I don't have any passenger fobs connected. I should have one on my camera guy, but I don't at the moment. But let's say you're running down the lake and bam, you fall out. Watch, the motor just shuts off and it's gonna beep, and I got all kinds of alarms going off. Man overboard, the engines have stopped. You can just hear all this stuff going on. It's a great safety issue. Let me get my phone back on here, and we got to go get that. It's out there in the water. A neat deal. Man overboard, and it's got my location right there. Tells me how to get back to it. All right, so let's go back and pick it up. How cool is that, guys? Just a great safety feature. Something that I'm excited to have on my boat because it's always on me. You know, some people forget to hook the kill switch up. Some people might not always like wearing a life jacket. So it's taking us right back to it. You can see right here on this map, the boats on the map, it's going right to the man overboard. You know, if it's dark, you're out night fishing, you know how right get back to it. My unit's here beeping at me. All right, there it is right there. So now I can cancel man overboard, get all the beeping to stop, dismiss, man overboard cleared. How cool is that? All FOBs disconnected. Man overboard protection has been deactivated. Super cool safety feature, guys, right there. So you can take this carabiner, take it off right here, take all this off, take this fob and put it right here in this wristwatch. So there's two different ways to wear it, but there's no excuse. Anybody should never, you know, be lost outside their boat. So you can, you know, if you got a guy that is swimming, maybe doesn't have anything to connect it to, a bathing suit, you know, your kids are out there, just make them wear a fob. If they ever fall out and you're not paying attention, your motor's gonna stop and beepers are gonna start going off. It's just a great safety deal. We're all about safety, especially with our kids, our family, when you're out there in the water. You know, right here, I just want to briefly, you know, touch on my electronics. You know, I've got two HDS 12s set up here. I run this one in mapping, 2D sonar. I've got this one side to side and down. I've been using pallet 1 a bunch. I like it. I like pallet 6. I kind of alternate between the pallets on my side imaging just for each given lake. So also on my units, you know, I can control all my pumps, you know, by hitting this top left-hand button here. You know, it's the Nitro switching. So, you know, we talked a little bit in the previous video about the first fish. You know, I hit that one time and that fills that live well. Once it's filled, it'll automatically change to the recirculating pump. Just a really cool feature to do right there. I can also control bilge pumps, panels, vents, lights. Let me show you what else I've got. You know, in the previous video, you guys need to check it out when I really went through a lot of things, is my charge system, the power pole charge. So for me, this is really cool to be able to see how many volts I've got, where it's distributing the power. You know, right now my cranking battery is completely full. Basically my trolling motor batteries are completely full. So it's really not putting out much amps, only 0.3. If I raise the engine up a little bit, those amps will increase if my batteries were low or dead, but that power pole charge is a must. Everything's charged up right now, I hadn't used it. I'm moving on down. If I had autopilot hooked up on my trolling motor, I can control my trolling motor from back here. This is really cool. You know, I got Sirius XM radio. I can hook it Bluetooth to my phone. It's super simple. I do it all the time. I listen to my phone. I don't think my Bluetooth's on right now. Then right here, the final button is my Mercury button. You know, it tells me my miles per hour, how many gallons, my volts. You know, if I was to hit gallons right there, it actually tells me my fuel flow. So like right now, me speeding up 2 gallons per hour. You know, if I had this thing on pad, let's say right here at, oh, I'm at 3,700 RPMs, 3,400 RPMs. I'm burning 8 gallons an hour. Really a cool feature. If somebody's trying to run a long distance, you know, knowing exactly how many gallons per hour you're burning, you know, is really critical to figure out the exact RPMs that you want to have to make it the distance you're trying to run. But that's kind of a really quick rundown of how I've got my screens tied into my Mercury, how I've got my Lorances tied into my charge system, and how they're all tied into all my switching on my boat. You know, I've got backup to backup. I've got switches down here to control everything, but I also have switches right here in my units to control everything. Heaven forbid if a fuse went out or something happened there, I've got backup to backup. Really a cool feature. You know, one thing I've had on my boat the last few years that I really enjoy is just having some speakers, you know, having the Sirius satellite radio hooked to my units, you know, being able to Bluetooth my phone through my units. It's just a cool feature. You know, I can listen to AM, FM radio, you know, football season, baseball season, enjoy listening to games if I'm out there on the water. Really cool, you know. If we just hit play right here, man, they sound good.
Loving every day.
They get loud too. Pretty cool though. I enjoy it. I enjoy having it on my boat, being able to control it right here from my Lowrance. There we go, hunting, fishing every day. Hey, one thing that makes a boat great is the fishability. And I think a big part of that people might not think about is how high it sits out of the water or how close it sits to the water. You know, to me, there's a fine line in there. A boat too high catches wind. You know, it just blows all over the place. It doesn't stay steady in the water. A boat too low, you know, you'll have a lot of waves crashing over the bow. You know, a boat too high, it's harder to land fish, to boat land fish. There's lots of reasons. You know, for me, I feel like when I get somebody in my boat, they just always talk about the fishability of a Nitro, you know, just how great they are in fishing, and a lot of that has to do with the closeness to the water. So when I get right here and I put that next to the water, I got some waves coming. It looks like to me, right there, we are 19 and a half inches above the water. I don't know what other boats are, but to me, I like how our boats sit in the water and the height they are above the water when I'm up here fishing. 14 and a half inches. 14 inches. That's right at 15 inches. 15 inches. All right, so I just drove it right across this point. I can see bottom. You can see how shallow it is right there. And basically between 14 and 14 and a half is what we just got stuck in. So I can float in 14 and a half because I know I can get off this. I just drove right across till I stopped. Trolling motor's still down. I haven't pushed. I could probably push pole across this fairly easy. But that's an important aspect in a boat. How shallow does it float? And you know, we're all trying to get back in a creek or get back in a bay that might have a shallow mouth. You know, that's gonna be a pattern coming up for you guys right now. You know, this time of year, October, there's some places that I've caught them where it's really hard to get into, really shallow to get into, especially later in the fall can be really good. So that's one aspect I love of our boats. They're really wide, which disperses the water, that they float shallow. I've got into areas in events where other boats couldn't even get in there. They'd try, and then I'd float in because these boats float shallow. I think it's probably one of the greatest things about our boats is how shallow they float. So pretty cool. One thing about it, you know, whenever you're trying to get shallow, I know you guys know this, but you know, to offset the gas and the motor, get your passengers as far forward in a boat as you can get them. That helps lift that back end up to get you a little bit shallower. It's a big, big key. Not very deep, but we're going. The lake's super low right now. All right, for this week's Power Stop breakdown, let's just break down the specs of the new Z21XL. The length of this beast is 21 feet 2 inches. The beam, 7 feet 11 inches. Maximum horsepower 300. Of course, I've got a 250. Fuel capacity 55 gallons. Interior depth 18.5 inches. Transom height 22.5 inches. Dead rise 16 degrees. They've got the draft at 16 inches. I floated it in 14.5. Average dry weight 2,150 pounds. The package weight with that motor is 4,050 pounds. The package width, 8 feet 6 inches. The towing length, 27 feet 11 inches. And to get it in your garage, you need 24 feet 4 inches. Hey guys, so there it is, my new 2022 Z21XL, brand new, bow to stern, you know, front to back, in and out, a whole new design, man. I am so excited about it. I love all the new features, you know, the 2 big rod storage boxes in the middle, you know, tackle storage, the rod boxes on the outside. I love the center console, how I can put that cushion in and out so quick. I love the added speed. I love the new first mate function where man, it's great safety feature. Just a lot of neat things on this boat. I'm super excited to fish my next season out of it. I got good feelings. We're gonna put a lot of bass in this boat. So if you hadn't checked out last week's episode, I went over all the details inside this boat. You know, today we tried to give you the performance data on it. You know, how fast to get it to 30 miles an hour and get it on pad and all that stuff was a goal today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll be getting out next week, getting back to fishing.